Hey everyone, the professional looking dude with all the studio setup is Reed Van Leuven. We're going to talk about what he does, but briefly, he's in business acquisitions now, small business acquisitions. We'll get into that mainly, what he's doing now. But Reed, kind of go through your history, where you started or what you used to do, kind of to how you landed up in what you do
Mm.
now. And then
All
what else do
right.
you want to share about that?
Okay. So we're talking big picture, like how are you born? How are you raised? Or okay,
Well,
but
yeah, let's
as
not
far as
go to when you were months old and you started crawling and when you
right.
first talked, all that stuff. No, no,
I
let's
learned how
go
to
to
ride a
more
bike when I was
professional.
4.
Yeah, let's go professional more like.
Sure, sure. Okay. Well, I guess the most relevant experience for me that was really the catalyst for all my success in every aspect of my life
Mhm.
was the 2 years I spent in Argentina.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
From ages 19 to 21,
Mhm.
without having any real life experience.
Mhm.
I'd fresh out of high school. I
Mhm.
was shipped on an airplane into and went to live with a Peruvian that didn't speak any English and live in Argentina for 2 years to teach
Oh,
people about the gospel of Jesus Christ.
wow. Okay.
I was a missionary for my church, and it was by far the most incredible experience. And it was there that I learned and made the decisions
Mhm.
that really planned out the rest of my life. There is, I believe, the work that I did there
Mhm.
has led to every blessing that I now currently enjoy.
Mhm.
Right. So the
Mhm.
wife I have, the kids I have, the success in business I've seen has
Mhm.
all come from the character and the mindset I developed while I was there.
Mhm.
Right. Because
Mhm.
growing up, I didn't have, I had what I consider a very, hell like life. It was very tough, lots of abuse in lots of different settings. Uh,
Mhm.
Tons of people have it way worse than me. But for me, it was
Mhm.
really hard.
Mhm.
And I was not set up for your traditional success, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
on a mission, I learned, okay, I'm a son of God and I'm going to live forever.
Mhm.
That means I have forever to continue to get better and better and better and better. And I was like video games growing up, so I saw, okay, well, if I'm gonna live like this forever, I might as well just treat life like a video game.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I remember I was there in Argentina. I developed the this love and passion for helping people make better decisions, right? Because like so many people's homes, and I have all the answers to solve all the problems in their life. So I thought,
Mhm.
right? But in reality, the gospel of Jesus Christ can really help a lot of people with that. So also, but also, real quick, I do speak if when it comes to hard questions, I do lean towards
Mhm.
religious answers. That's just very core of who I am.
Mhm.
Um, when it comes to business, obviously more technical things, I get more
Mhm.
technical answers.
Mhm.
But when it comes to big questions or mindset, I know like you guys want your big focuses, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I had this big perspective, right? So when I got home, I had this zeal for helping people make better decisions. So I got a career in sales,
Mhm.
right? So I started selling everything I could.
Mhm.
Cookies door to door was one business.
Mhm.
Rock chip repairs, I had that business. I had several chains of gas stations I had partnered with, and I was training all these people underneath me how to do sales too. And
Mhm.
then, but then I got into pest control. My wife got me to pest control actually,
Okay.
and she had just killed it. She had her first year almost sold 200 doors her
Mhm.
first year. I'm like, man, she did that. I
Mhm.
bet I could get 300.
Mhm.
Of course, I got to impress her because she's the one that probably vetted me out.
Mhm.
And I spent months just practicing before I even got my, but not that first door,
Mhm.
just practicing. After this is during college too. Right. So when I did knock on that first door, I sold three my first day. I was ecstatic. Oh my gosh. I actually did end up selling about 300 accounts that first year. And it was really exciting. I was like, okay, I got this sales thing locked down. From there, I did a few years of pest control in the summers and in the off seasons. I was learning marketing because man, this is just this too constraint, right? I can only talk to one person at a time.
Mhm.
If I could master talking to people in masses, boy, what are
Mhm.
the possibilities of that? Right. So I was very lucky to have had a lot of family members and friends that were also very successful and they knew my character and trusted me to do whatever's on mind to. So they hired me as a punk, still very junior college kid to run their business. Like,
Mhm.
here you go, Reed. Here's our jet ski rental business.
Mhm.
Make me money. Like, okay, yes, sir, let's do it.
Mm.
So that I was, I learned how to manage contractors there. I learned how to do customer service. I learned how to manage people repairing the jet skis and the back end and a little marketing there. And the next job I got, the next winter in between the summers, I was a CMO of the e-commerce business, and that was a blast. I love the power of e-commerce. I got really into digital marketing, got tons of courses, certifications, all that jazz, and just from there, I just continue to get more and more opportunities. I phased out of door sales because I was like, I don't want to build a career out of this. I made enough money. Okay, let's just focus on building my skill level to actually help me build up a really big business. From there, I just kind of took on these different projects from people I knew and trusted me, and learned the ins and outs of how to run small businesses. Talking from 500 to 5 million size businesses at the time, and it just the perfect experience. I was going to school for college business management, so it just very well. But even though at this time I still didn't know what I wanted to do. Right, all I knew is that I want to build something big, and I have forever to figure it out, and to learn and grow and improve. And that's really it was that what I call a celestial perspective that gives me the space and the patience to know, okay, calm down. I know you're freaking out because you don't know what you want to do yet, but it's gonna come to you. And when it does, by golly, the world will be at your feet. You'll have all the power you need. And I was auditing all of his classes. Sorry, this is a much longer winded answer than I was expecting to give.
I'm making some notes, so good. Go
I was auditing all his extra classes to see, okay, what I want to do. I was taking this that were not required for my grade, but persuasive communication or debate class or all these extra marketing classes. I know one and sales classes. My favorite though was the real estate investing class. Investing. That's wow. We took that. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do something with investing here for sure. That's how that way you don't have to work. You work once, you get paid 100 times over for it. Right? That was because I'm young, I should start doing that now rather than later. So I can start reaping the benefits, right? Because the sooner you get better, the more faster you're able to enjoy it. Same thing with your money. And I was auditing this real estate investing class when I asked the teacher, "Hey, look, you presented all these different opportunities of different kinds of real estate investing. Which one's the best?" And then what I said was mobile home parks. And immediately I thought of my high school best friend's dad, who owned several parks, about a dozen parks. His name is Scott Wheeler, phenomenal guy, one of my favorite mentors. I call him, I used to call him Papa Wheeler. Scott Wheeler is his name. Because whenever I get in trouble or some massive fiasco happened in my family, I'd run over to his house. He's also bishop of a local church too. I went to, so I was like really great guy. And he just happened to move into the city where I was going to school in Rexburg, Idaho. I went to BYU, Idaho. There's this little satellite campus out there. Beautiful, beautiful, especially in the summer. Best snowboard in the winter, Grand Targhee. Yeah. And I took him out to lunch. Hey, I think I would want to do mobile home parks. Would you teach me? He's like, Reed, you're like a son to me. Of course I'll teach you. Yes, let's. I'm so excited to have you finally. Yes. But just know, Reed, like I've had these meetings on about 1,000 times. People take me to lunch all the time. I don't know how I do. I hope you're the one that proves me wrong, because almost everyone, like 99% of people that takes me to lunch, they don't end up doing anything with this. Like, okay, I'll prove you wrong. I'll be the 1%. And so from that moment, I continued to grow and scale these different businesses that I was working with. But between all these ins and outs of things I was doing, it took about 5 years in order to actually really start doing anything with mobile homes.
Okay.
From the moment I heard about mobile home parks to the moment where I actually started being semi-successful, it took me about 5 years. And that's a long time horizon. But because I had, look, I'm not going to give up. I know I have a ton of deficiencies. I'm super ADD, right? I know I have ADHD. I can't study. I have all these problems with me. I can't wake up early. Actually, at that time, I made that important part of me. So I was waking up early and working out early. But it is because again, my faith gives me the space, the faith I have in Jesus. That's like, hey, look, I love you. I'm here with you, and no matter what you can do, I'm gonna pass with you. And so I just kept trying again and again and again. And just the repetitive, I just learned the industry better and better. Found aside for another one of the online courses to get a little more fine detailed education, cash flow academy, how to buy mobile home units. And within 1 month of actually starting that, actually really learning in that and more consistently calling up park managers, dialing for dollars, driving for dollars, looking for those for sale signs in the mobile home parks. I was trying to do my first deal. I had just moved to Utah when Scott calls me, Reed, I just found out my mobile home park in Virginia, the little podunk town called Madison Heights. The cops call it Weed Heights, but you know, forget I said that actually. The park managers have been stealing from me for years. They've extorted the tenants, finding them up with the wazoo, selling homes out from underneath me, and fudging all the books. It's a mess. Everyone's up in arms there. I need a park manager there now. And I just moved to Utah, but you want to go? I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I'm free. So I just hopped and left 1 week after moving to Utah with a brand new baby. And we managed the 152 unit park that was falling apart physically because it was born in the 1970s or built in this early 60s by this crazy kook. I love him. Wiley Craig. Fun guy. He just passed away, unfortunately, recently. And it just was falling apart because he didn't do anything. He didn't do very things right. But he was the previous owner of the park and he still lived in the park. And anyhow, got hands-on experience doing that stuff with mobile home parks. Within that first year of managing this park, the reason why I wanted to do it, because I knew I'd have I would have access to deal flow. Because one thing that mobile homes do is when they want to sell their home, the first person they need to call is the mobile home park owner. So I got bought 14 homes my first year. And the fun part about that was I never spent more than $5,000 cash, like total for the whole home. And then I would structure the deals, rents to own, to give me a down payment of close to the purchase price of the home. Like the first deal I bought that was actually the most I ever spent on a home was $5,000. I bought it for $5,000 and I put a few $100 to fix a little bit to repaint the kitchen and do the floor in the kitchen, which I did myself. And then I structured it so that someone gave me a down payment for $4,000 and then paid me $800 a month. And then I just rinsed and repeat that over and over again for that year. And I just continued to grow and scale. Now I have my own portfolio of a few dozen more homes, and I'm part of a mobile home park fund. We're buying up parks all over the U.S. called Council Capital. Phenomenal crew. They're very humble to be part of the team. I love them. But as well I'm doing this process, buy up these individual homes, do that for a few years. It's feeling really good about myself. That I came across a YouTube video of somebody, Mike Warren, on YouTube that was comparing the returns of mobile homes, starting out mobile real estate, to buying businesses. And I was out of college at this point, and I remember thinking, what? You could buy businesses? I mean, I've considered selling businesses in the past because I love sales, and you want to get sales, just sell the biggest thing you can sell, which is a business. But you could, and they compared the comparison of cash flow. You could, let's look, for example, right? Your average investment for a single family home is $70,000 between down payment and the remodel price, right? Now you take that, but the house itself costs anywhere from, nowadays, I think the average median home price is what, almost $500,000. And then in Utah, you can't, good luck finding anything around that price. Average price here is about 700 around there. It's crazy, right? And then if you're lucky, you'll get a cash flow, maybe $1,000. If you're really lucky, maybe two. It's a really nice one. Right. And of course, unless you want to go crazy and go Airbnb model, like that's a business right there. That's not your average real estate business, but it's a good model. It's a good model. But you take that same, let's say, $900,000, put that into business. Okay, your average business sells for a multiple of 3 times the profit, right? So Let's for easy numbers. Let's say it's $900,000 business. That's a $300,000 cash flow. What can you do?
Right.
What can you do with $900,000 for real estate? Right. And so when I heard the numbers, I was so mad because I had never been exposed to this before. And it was that I started looking at this and furiously like, what is this called? What is private equity? What a weird name. What a weird word. I had never heard of that. So I was like, oh my gosh. And this is where the fire starts lighting under my butt. It's like it's put me in emotion really fast. I somehow find myself speaking to Mike Warren and myself. And it's like, okay, look, I don't know what this is, but teach me. Take a money. Let's figure this out. Okay, I'll work for you for free, whatever it is. Just I need to do this. He's like, okay, cool. I have several private equity groups. I'd be happy to work with you. What's your experience like? Oh, well, I'm an entrepreneur. I've done this and this and that. I built all these businesses. I'm on a portfolio of real estate. I've accomplished a few things here. Okay, cool. Where'd you go to school? BYU, Idaho. What's that? It's not an Ivy League school. What kind of grades did you get? 3.2 on a good semester. Look, I majored in dancing and girls and how to actually build businesses. I didn't focus a lot on the classes that weren't going to help you do that very much. It's like, Reed, you're not, private equity. This is a thing. This is the industry people raise you from infancy. Ideally, right? You go to college you get a finance degree. This isn't typically something you just hear about and try to get into. It's extremely difficult. We had a working deal where I paid him $5,000 to work for free and just have him train me, work with the team, work with him for a couple of years and buying all kinds of businesses. It was for one of those lower private equity firms he didn't care so much about. And it wasn't the best experience, but hey, it was plenty good enough for me. Right? I was just excited to be a part of it. I helped him buy dozens of businesses over there. Wasn't really super industry focused. I focused on a lot of marketing businesses because that's what I loved. Right, he had also, interesting enough, some vacation businesses out in Hawaii, trucking businesses, some lighting businesses. It was kind of all over the place. It gave me a good wide berth of experience. And then for okay, this is great. I need to go. I've been working for somebody else now for 2 years now, and as an entrepreneur, blood is starting to boil a little bit. Right. I had this point. I had my own little team underneath me too. But like, you know what, guys, I gotta go do my own thing. I need to be able to buy. I now have the confidence to buy businesses. I want to start doing it myself now. So, and this has been about a year and a half now since I left them, and I joined another team, Business Broker Advisors, to be a broker. Right. I want to own all aspects of the deal flow because all those deals that we weren't buying while I was working with them, they were just going away. Like there was no benefit at all. We did all this work and they would turn down so many businesses, right? Because private equity groups, you do need to be super focused on what you're going after, right? Even if it's the right kind of business, it also has to be the right kind of business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, most business owners out there just shouldn't be. Just shouldn't be business owners. They'd be much better off being an employee because they're really good at this one thing. Not so good managing people, or they can't do any finance stuff, especially a small business when there's not enough cash flow to hire the people that do it for you. It's rough. It's really rough. And it breaks my heart because I have a lot of good friends that are in that situation. Gotcha. And I have to have this conversation with them sometimes. Hey, look, you can learn anything, right? Over a long enough horizon and enough focus, you can learn the skills to do anything. I've helped people that don't know how to dance to left feet enjoy dancing. And people that can't sing, roughly, they enjoy singing and they're pleasant to listen to.
Gotcha.
But they stick with it long enough, they can get wicked awesome.
Gotcha. So now that's what you focus on, essentially business business brokering, but also building your own business, but also coaching people.
Yeah. So I want the full deal flow. Look, I buy, sell, and grow businesses.
Awesome.
Right.
All right. So with that being said, that's a lot of information there. So one of the things I wanted, I made a note, and maybe we don't have to get into length with this, but one thing I wanted to ask, right?
Sure.
Obviously, you mentioned about gospel and that kind of how it drove you
Yeah.
to what you're doing and propelled you on all that stuff. So I get into a lot of spirituality stuff. Recently read The Yoga of Jesus, which is written by Paramahansa Yogananda. It is amazing how, I mean, I've read Bible before, I'm obviously not born Christian, but I kind of read the Bible. But when you try to understand it, when what Jesus was, there's many misunderstandings, especially the gospel, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of depth to it, but I feel like most people don't understand, right? So I
Yeah.
just want you to like bring out one quote, right? That attributes that you can extrapolate it toward the businesses you do, right? Or you see that can be used there. Obviously, you can probably remember, tens of quotes, but we don't want to go into everything there
How
since.
much time do we have?
So one quote, like where you feel like, hey, remember what this is. This is what this means for a business. What do you feel like that is? What do you think that is for you?
Okay. So what scripture do I think applies the most to
A business,
the business, right?
yeah, business world. You feel like.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I think what the first thing that comes to mind, right? If I don't know why I would come up with that, I have more time to think about this, but the first thing that comes to mind is what's commonly known as the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you like to do done unto you,
Mm. Perfect.
right? So a lot of business owners,
Mm.
they don't take the time to think about the customer journey,
Mm.
the customer experience,
Mm.
right? Um, from the moment they meet you, like you need to be able to imagine yourself as a customer going through the full process of your business.
Mhm.
If you have a digital marketing agency, for example,
Mhm.
and their first experience with you is that okay, they saw an ad, right? They click on the ad. How smooth is transition, right? So they put the phone number and the email to get for the lead magnet, whatever they want, right? Maybe it's a ebook
Mhm.
on how to do this thing.
Mhm.
You click on that, and then you get someone that texts, that calls you or emails you,
Mhm.
right? And then you actually answer the phone, and you have this pleasant conversation with them, and you see some potential there. Okay, cool. And then on the phone, the person says, "Okay, great. I'm going to email you over this information. Just for you to review, and we'll hop on a call again tomorrow." Something
Mhm.
like that. And then because they're not ready for whatever reason, they have an objection at the point to not sign up yet.
Mhm.
They're still in the information stage.
Mhm.
Okay. But then rather than, and what you want to do is you want to tell them
Mhm.
when you're going to email them. You want to make as many micro promises as possible and fulfill them because that's what builds trust,
Mhm.
right? And what happens if you don't do that
Mhm.
is you think about them from their perspective, right? You're building a relationship here. If you don't email them when you say you're going to email them, then you kind of lose some relationship equity there,
Mhm.
right? A little less trust.
Mhm.
So you hop on let's say you follow up you do email them the next day, right? Not when they said you're going to, but you do get it out. And then but it's with somebody else, right? And the first person spoke to them, they didn't keep very good notes in the CRM. The new person spoke with them is asking them all the same exact questions that they already asked somebody, that they already told the other person. People don't like to repeat themselves at
Mhm.
all.
Mhm.
It's really annoying. It's like I just told this other guy. Keep notes, refer to them when you're speaking with your clients, okay?
Right.
And just it could be very clunky or as smooth as possible. You just have to make sure you put yourself in the person's experience, right? And the biggest thing is communication along the month when you actually sign them up. Let the customer know, hey, this is what you can expect.
Mhm.
And then you follow up with them, hey, this is what's been happening, right? This is the reality. If we don't wait till something goes wrong, don't wait till the end of the month to tell a customer, oh yeah, well, this month we weren't very successful. Well, if you prep them ahead of time, they'll handle it much easier.
Mhm. Got you.
It's just,
Yeah. Got you. No, that's a
yeah,
great point. That's a perfect, I guess, probably gospel or heck, I mean that's probably a common sense rule, actually, really, right? Because that's, nobody wants a pushy guy or somebody who just looks out for them, It's got to be a win-win. Another way to say it is win-win, right? Golden rule is win-win, right? Also, right? So awesome. Now let's transition back into the business world, right? As you know, right now you're working on both the brokerage, acquiring businesses, coaching. What are the people you're looking to connect with, and who can you help? I guess without, and then we can. This probably can go in multiple directions, but let's go with the core, right?
Mhm.
What is the main focus for you, and who are the people, type of people who, should reach out to you, connect with you, and see, obviously, follow the golden rule and help each other out, stuff
Yeah,
like that. So could you share that?
of course. Yeah. So my number one focus is buying businesses.
Mhm.
Everything else I do is to that to that end.
Mhm.
I coach people that want to sell their business,
Mhm.
right? And it's almost exclusively, if you're family and friends, I'll help you out, right? And most times I won't charge you, right? Because go and do those you want to do. I always one is why I'm here today is because of all the opportunities everyone else gave me, all the
Right.
extra help that I did not deserve at the time. I have been extremely blessed by those that did not need to help me.
Right.
Every major improvement in my life is because someone opened the door to me,
Right.
and I'm very grateful for that, right? And I think living with gratitude is a very big key to keeping your momentum and keep moving forward.
Mhm.
Um, but my main focus is buying businesses, right? So I want to grow businesses that I want to sell, and whether I buy them or not,
Mhm.
that's fine. Like I can help you sell it to somebody else and still make some good money there too. And at the same time, I'm completely transforming their lives. And I love that. I've been forever on this pursuit of trying to relive those 2 years of
Mhm.
just seeing this magical transformation in people's and families
Mhm.
and the light grow in people's lives and the stress melt off their shoulders and just feel their spirits lift up and be free and just live life fully. It's wonderful, wonderful experiences. Take a business owner that is feels that is being crushed. His marriage is in shambles because his wife doesn't believe in his business anymore or in him because he's because of reasons and being to help them it's do this extremely intense process similar to I imagine giving birth because this is the crushing weight, the refiner's fire. This is where how diamonds are made in these most intense moments of life.
Mhm.
uh it's be able to help you through that process is as you can imagine extremely gratifying,
Mhm.
extremely gratifying. um I've only had a few cases like that. It not every case is that bad, obviously, but even just helping I just really love to help people personally. I like to focus people that that serve a purpose, that know why they're here. They're contributors to society. I build businesses, I build my community,
Mhm.
and it's just it's a give, give, give. It's a win, win, win.
Awesome.
That's why I
Perfect.
do what
I
I do.
mean, you actually covered one of my last three questions already, so I might not ask that because what inspires you kind of told us what inspires you. So with that being
Yeah.
said, so is there any focus on the range in the
Oh,
revenue? I
absolutely.
guess you concentrate on as far as you acquiring and also helping essentially. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Something
So
specific?
honestly, I don't have much experience with businesses over 10 million,
Okay, gotcha.
right? So my buying range is between 1 to 10 million.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That
All right, perfect. So I'll be posting Reed's whatever information Reed will be sharing. He also I mean, you can see he's professional right there, podcaster too. So, whatever about his podcast and website and whatever contact information, I'll be posting that with the videos. So you can reach out to him, talk to him. Obviously, you can see, I mean, it's high energy and, full of spirit and the gratitude. You can see what he shared, how grateful he is and all that stuff. So yeah, great person to talk to. So all right, with that, let's get into the last two questions. I had other questions, but you pretty much covered all the stuff I had
yeah.
with
Ah.
with the answers you had. So I don't want to just repeat the same thing again. So I'll get into the last two.
All righty.
What's you can't say Bible because Bible is not we're talking about, I don't know, personal development or
Right.
professional
Right.
development books you read. One of the best books you read or your favorite book among that.
Well, I mean, if you're talking personal development, the Bible is hard to beat, honestly, once you get into it and apply the
True.
teachings. But
Yeah.
as more specifically, the one that's had the biggest impact me the last couple years is it's easier to 10x than 2x.
Okay. Gotcha.
Are you familiar with that one?
I feel like no, I haven't read it. I read Grant Cardone's 10X, and
Ooh,
which is
oh, that's
different.
good. That's massive action. Really is a cure all. It's amazing.
Right.
Massive
Awesome.
with the right energy involved with that.
Got it.
One of my favorite quotes right now actually is where energy goes, energy flows. That's by Tony Robbins. Then a
Yes.
good friend of mine, Tony Child, he's another personal development coach. He
Oh,
finishes the
actually,
quote.
I did a
He,
podcast with him.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Love Tony. Love Tony.
Yeah, Tony is awesome.
He
Yeah.
he finished the quote though in a beautiful way because as a quote again, it goes where energy goes, energy flows. But what he adds is, and where energy flows, that thing grows.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
So basically, whatever you focus on grows.
Awesome. Perfect. That's a great.
Um,
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
but the point, and to tie that into 10x is easier than 2x is, look, if your focus is to 2x,
Mhm.
you can do that. There's just a million different ways to do it,
Mhm.
and you're thinking too small.
Mm.
The reason why it's easier to 10x your business than to 2x is because the path becomes very clear on what you should do to get there.
Mm.
And when you have a very clear focus and vision, and you attack it with a focused energy relentlessly, the universe will align to for your good.
Mm.
All of your experiences in life adds up to build and out this vision that you have for yourself, right?
Mm.
You now know how to skip from A to D because you don't have to do it with those extra steps. Whereas if you were to do 2x, you'd, there's just so many different ways to do it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah, no,
If you
that
want to, one example is okay. It just, it, the energy of what you go about your work has changes drastically. I love to do MMA.
Mm.
I'm a very active person. I love guns. I love Second Amendment. I love self defense and mixed martial arts. See the UFC, that's MMA, not the
Mhm.
fake stuff, the real
Right.
hardcore, the stuff that works, right? And when I started doing it, I had two choices. I can start going to MMA and just enjoy the process of punching bags and practicing well, in karate, those earlier the katas or the different things, right? But and if my goal is just to learn it, you
Mhm.
can learn it. It'll take a long time. But if your goal is I want to have my professional debut fight 1 year from now,
Mhm.
that year of training is going to be very different.
Mm.
The time you spend in the gym, the
Mhm.
energy there is going to be very different. What you do is going to be very different.
All right.
Same thing with the gym, right? I want to grow my business. Okay, cool. You go ahead. You can follow the basic stuff. You'll get there eventually.
Mhm.
But you set a big enough goal, the path before you reveals it. The people that you need to accomplish it. And it's the who that gets you there faster than anything else, not the how or what.
Gotcha.
It's the people that will get you there faster than anything else. At least that's
Gotcha.
been my experience.
Awesome. You kind of answered the last question too now. What's the best tip you could give? That probably is the best tip, right? Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what else to ask. Then yeah, no, let's leave it at that because
So if you
that was
guys, whoever's listening is, if you're looking for the who can help you figure out how to buy businesses, if you're just now starting out, right? Give me a call.
there
I
you go.
hop on. I love to talk about this all day, and I do.
Awesome. So that's a
If you're looking
perfect
to
segue.
if you're looking to sell your business, hey, give me a call. If you have no idea when you want to, start building your business now so that you can sell it.
Right.
It makes it far more valuable and easier to run. It's incredible how much more life you get back from your business when you
Mm.
build it the right way. And when you do it the
Awesome.
right way, you can also get much bigger payout.
There you go. All right. I mean, there's another topic revolving in my mind, but that's for maybe another episode. We'll do that maybe to how to build a business that you can exit. Maybe that's the topic I'm thinking about. We won't talk about it now
We
because
could
that's
definitely do
really a
that.
big one, right? So awesome. Again, Reed, thanks for taking the time. And like Reed said, hey, if you're trying to buy a business or trying to sell a business, or you're just trying to build your business up, maybe even that, right? maybe reach out to Reed within the range he's talked about. He has experience and maybe he can help you or now or in the future, whatever it is. Have the conversation with him. And now, like I said, I'll be posting all his links. Maybe his podcast will have a lot of golden nuggets like he shared right now, right? Listen to his podcast. So again, Reed.
It's in the works. It's not going to be out for several months. So
okay. All right. For now, just listen to this one a couple of times and reach out to him and talk to him. So, get the
I'm here for you.
It's in person, maybe then. Reed, again, man, thanks a lot. Thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure. Thank you, Roger.